been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugged it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
I don't want to ruin the trade, so I'm going to sit here in silence. You guys know what I'm doing, right? Does anybody notice where UVXY is? You don't have to ask me twice what's going on. I'll just say this again. I'll say it with meaning. I think the market's going to crash any day now. And when I mean crash, that means 582.50 on the Qs. That's all I really care about. If I'm right, great. If I'm wrong, doesn't matter either. But shorting's been working today. And that's what's the difference between the market and lately. If you're looking at the chart that's open, don't short that stock. If you haven't noticed, again, I don't want to be Captain Obvious here, but I guess I will be. Since the earnings reversal on open, which we called at $5.05 last week, the stock's up nearly 100%. Earnings reversals are great, not only intraday, but they also establish new trends. So the stock went from being bearish to super bullish from the earnings reversal. And that's, quite often that's how it works. Because that is a very visceral moment in the life of the stock. But what you're also noticing is the continuation of the exodus from all the momentum names. And if you aren't noticing, let me refresh your memory. The quantum stocks, Kenny Glick was telling you to buy them when they were single digits, talking about how some of these can go to 30 and 50, and they did. And then I got super bearish on them because JP Morgan said they're really liking the sector now, and it poses a really good opportunity. And since that day, they've all been sells. Just like SRAD getting upgraded, just like when any stock that nobody really has heard about and you're making money on it, and then suddenly everybody likes it, and then suddenly it's not that good anymore. It's called a crowded trade. And nobody does it better than mainstream media once they started touting quantum stocks. And it's not, I don't think it's a coincidence at all that he was saying how he likes the sector now, and it's been getting destroyed ever since. And that's what leads me to believe, again, I could go over this same exact scenario. I think the whole market is going to pull an Oracle, right? Oracle, great company, phenomenal. And they reported the biggest blowout quarter in the history of their company. And I said, you got to be shorting it. Because stocks like Oracle don't go up 40% on earnings beats. That was a monstrous, ridiculous move and needed to be sold into. And you gave back all of it and then some. And that's exactly what I think is about to happen on the entire market. Well, my market is the Qs. So what I'm looking for is an Oracle movement where we give back all this froth and go test those lows and then give that back. And then if you think 10%, do the math. So we're at 620 on the Qs. 10% sell-off would be 62 points. So anybody have a calculator? What's 620 minus 62? Exactamundo. So if you look at some of the multiple time frames on the VWAP, right? Once we get back under the monthly, we'll get back into this last attempt to sell off, right? That was the government might stay shut. By the way, the whole government shutdown trade doesn't exist. That's just the media trying to come up with a reason things are happening. The reason that the market's selling off is there's a transfer going on out of the QQQ into the Dow Jones. That's what's happening. UVXY is telling us that this sell-off is a little bit more substantial than normal. I am short the Qs and I'm short QTUM right now. QTUM is a quantum index, but it's also chips. It's a very amazing stock. I love it, but I think it's time for a short in it, and I'm short as well as the Qs. And I hope I'm right, but prepared to be wrong as usual, because shorting is short-lived and I'm going to die. So nothing's really changed. But here's QTUM. If you don't know QTUM, it's great. And inevitably, it's going to be a buy again. But hopefully now it tanks to 105. But this index, or ETF, or whatever you call it, it's one of my favorites because its top holdings are, was Rigatoni, Tower Semi, Micron Technologies, Teradyne, AMD. That's why it's not tanking as much as the market right now. IonQ, Intel, Mongoloid. If you know Mongoloid, MDB, Qubits, Lam Research, Google. Got some Baidu, got some Palantir in there, got some Clack, got some NVIDIA, Tower Semiconductor. I don't like the fact that it has Chinese stocks in there, but it does. Alibaba, Oracle. It's a great little index. And we got paid on it back when it started to form, but I just think it's time for a 5-point haircut. So I'm short that. And yeah, short the Qs now. Just got in a little bit late because I think we're going 617.50. Not getting overly excited because you can never really be excited about being short in a market that never goes down. But UVXY gave us permission. I actually traded UVXY long twice for winners today. And that is why I'm bearish. Because nobody ever makes money buying UVXY. Ever. So when you do, there's something trouble afoot. But remember, it's always temporary. Never forget rule number 1. Shorting is short-lived and you're going to die. But right now I'm feeling pretty lovely about it. I'm sure that feeling will go away. But if you're going to crush all the momentum stocks, if you're going to take away all the fad, the froth is going to come out. And that's kind of what I'm banking on here. And that froth to me will be right there. 571.58. You heard it here first. We're going to get there before the year is over. And then we're going to bounce off there and rally 16,000 points, or at least a buck or two. But I don't care about that. Right now, I'm staying focused, short the Qs. I'm short QTUM and long UVXY, which is the most absurd trade you'll ever have on in a market that never goes down. But right now, it's working. And I'm sticking with it. By the way, VICR, a little blow off top. Not that I'm overly concerned, but it's the one stock I own. And if I sell that, I will be Well, right now I'm 99.6% cash. And like I said, no more SRAD or Clove or V-Wave, Rambus. I got 300 shares of VICR. That's my entire portfolio. And once I dump that, I'm not coming back. I'm done owning stocks. I got a trade that works every time it shows up. I'm going to only do that from now on. And I'm good with that. And if the Qs were 48 cents away from me recovering, and now I might have to think about getting out because shorting is short-lived and I'm going to die. Well, I don't want to allow myself to be faux show broad, so right there, that's my stop. 619.53. Exactly. 619.53, and I'll have to get out. Hopefully not, but you know, shorting and all that, it's short-lived and you're going to die. And I have to cover because I got in a lot later than I should have been. So here's the retrace to the VWAP. There's where I should have been shorting. Gets back to the VWAP. Should have been shorting. Gets back to the prior day VWAP. This time I was like, you know what? Let me put a short on. And I got short right here. Took some money off. Ready to get stopped out. Now, if I was short from up here, I'd probably give it a little bit more wiggle room, but I'm not because I know the drill. Shorting is short-lived and you're going to die. Would I buy the Qs? Well, chances are if I get stopped out, that's where you want to buy them. So 619.56 or whatever that price was. Which might be on this next candle if this one consolidates and breaks back above that high. The next move is going to be up. But this will be my last trade. I'm happy it worked again. UVXY gave me permission to short the market. I took a shot, got paid, going to get stopped out of the rest. And I'm not going to get chopped up. Yesterday was choppy. Today was kind of choppy, but we managed to trade it well. I got no reason to keep going. Got at least a day's pay in hand. I'm not thinking about trying to make the money back. Again, that's a lot of traders. They get hammered yesterday or whatever, and you're on a mission and make it all back the next day. No, don't. You don't think about your P&L. That's called P&L trading. It's another mistake traders make. You trade every day, every trade, independent from the last one. This is why I'm in. This is where I think it's going. This is what I'm going to do. And this is what I'm going to do. And there's no in between. So would I have loved to make all the money I made back, lost yesterday in one day? Sure. But it is what it is. If it takes me 7 days, it'll take me 7 days. It takes me 3 days, 3 days. Every trade, exactly the same. And I did learn from yesterday. If you guys heard, I got hammered. Chose very poorly to add to positions yesterday. So today, I went back to my normal self and I got CRCL. I got my dip and rip. I bought the stock. It broke over VWAP. I immediately sold, and then I sold the rest. And then it plummeted 7. So yesterday, I was that guy buying it up here because I was like, yeah, all right, bull market, let's go. My lesson from yesterday immediately paid off. Immediately paid off. And I probably should have shorted the thing. But this market, if you haven't noticed, is a dynamic shift going on out of tech and all the momentum names into Dow Jones stocks. Caterpillar up another 10. UNH up another 10. Verizon. I meant to say Visa. Hey, at least you got paid, right? On the ON short. That was our only other trade that we have on, gentlemen, ladies. Just a little fade on ON through the VWAP. Took a while to develop, but at least you got your dollar out of it. And I would try to stay short because if it breaks down under the lows of the day, you got that pre-market little anomaly candle that you kind of just got there by 10 cents. But if you break that, you could actually have another $1.50 to the downside. And out. Done. All right, now I can talk again. I got no positions on. Well, that didn't take long. So now, if they go back to VWAP and get back to that 621.50 again, and they roll back through it, maybe I'll short them again if UVXY is still green. But chances are that's new generational lows, and we'll never see the market go down ever again. So that was fun while it lasted. Wasn't long, just like any other short position. But like I said, I have zero risk tolerance for shorting. So when it's working, you should be flabbergasted and amazed. Don't ever get excited about it. Shorting is always going to be short lived and you're going to die. There's no such thing as a bear market ever again. We might have a gentle pullback. Hopefully it gets a little bit more intense before the year is up. But I keep getting stopped out and I have to re-enter if I have to, and we'll see. But probably not. These last 2 days, kind of like taking the money and running has been the best choice, which is usually the best choice always for day traders because it's a job. If your boss tells you could go home early, you're generally going to say, sure. And if you are shorting anything, right, remember, the rule of shorting is you're doing something illegal in this market, right? You got to be looking over your shoulder for someone coming at you with a freaking bat with nails coming out of it, like Lucille, Walking Dead. Right? And if you're not trading with that attitude, you're going to get killed, especially as a shorter. So speaking of that, right? Keeping with the idea that shorting is short-lived and you're going to die, go look for stocks that look their worst, and that's when they're usually good buys, like ASTS. Let's go take a look because that stock's been pretty nasty. Trying to come out of that bottom range right now, as a matter of fact. And by the way, did you see how we addressed the cues, right? You had a reason to short them, had a target, got a premise, and then you put a stop on to remind yourself that you're a schmuck for ever thinking the market could actually go down for more than 7 minutes. But that was a decent 7-minute trade, right? What did it last? 7 minutes? What was that, 14 minutes? Oh, this should be fun. Oh. Hang on, I actually got to take this call. I'll be right back. Yes. So that was a funny phone call. That was my dad. My dad's not feeling so well, but we've come up with a theory. My mom is the worst cook ever. And I think after living with her, obviously, his whole life, it's finally caught up to him. The easiest answer is usually the answer, right? My mom's cooking has been killing my father. And now it's finally at 80 years old, his body's rejecting my mom's cooking finally. So I went there for dinner and I brought, because my parents, and if you know, my dad's very, he's done very well in the market, got some money, but my parents live like they're homeless. The house is all disheveled. They got everything's from the 1970s. They haven't changed a thing. At least my dad drives a semi nice car, but they don't really, all they care about is going on vacations and, you know, making sure the whole family's taken care of. Long story short, my mom does not know how to cook. And I was forced as a young person to learn how to cook for myself because it was pretty awful. And she's delusional about it too. Why? My meatloaf's all right. Yeah, okay. As it saunters across the table and makes its way to the door. You ever see that movie Better Off Dead? Yeah. But my dad, he's 80 bucks, 80 years old now, and he hasn't really been feeling too well. And I'm like, you got to start eating better. So I went there, I cooked him dinner. My dad just called me. He's like, I never felt this good in my life. It's like, that meal was so good. I feel better today. I think I'm cured. And I was like, I know you're kind of half joking around about that, but there's something to it. You eat like shit, and mom's cooking is awful. But yeah, Big Al's been down in the dumps. He turned 80 a couple of months ago, and it's like his whole body started just breaking down. He was playing pickleball, and now he can't play. He doesn't got the energy for it. He's narking out, sleeping all the time. Something's up. He's getting upset about it. But he just called me. He's like, got a spring in his step. See, I was like, there you go. Oh no, my mom, she'll try to throw in like leftovers that she's had frozen down in the basement for like 8 or 9 years. What? It's still good. As she has to chip away the ice off the frostbit food that she's about to defrost and then try to serve to people. I'm like, Marty, we have people coming over. I think that cake was when I brought it over 12 years ago for Christmas. What? It's still good. Like I was back when my wife and I were first getting together and we had the parents coming over. My mom literally brought a unfrozen cake. And I knew she would. So I met her at the door with another cake. And I was like, no, no, no. I knew you were going to bring that fucking pie. Give me the goddamn pie. What? It's still good. No. Here, take this pie and present this to my new in-laws. Do not come in this house with that pie. Some Costco pie that you bought 8 years ago that nobody ate. Yeah, my mom's broken records. I found stuff in her house that expired 27 years ago. Yeah. I was like, Ma, you think this is any good? They don't even make this product in glass bottles anymore. It's a collector's item. Remember when stuff came in glass bottles? Yeah, gross. But my dad's losing weight. He's like he's a tiny guy, but man, I don't know. So we got to get some more blood work done. See what's up. I'm telling you, I think it's my mom's cooking has officially caught up to my father finally. All right. More importantly, ON. Covered some for a win. There you go. Finally. Did you get out of some at 52, 42? Took all day. At least you got your dollar out of it. By the way, who's saying this was a bad trade? This was the trade of the morning. This was Faux Show Bro, VWAP break, Andy Dufresne, monstrous trade to the upside. Short took some time to make some money on, but there you go. You finally, I don't know about you, but you got 42. If you haven't taken off the table yet, at least you got it. Didn't get you stopped out. By the way, I want to remind everybody, trading is boring, and there are days like yesterday and today all the time. It's just 2025. There's been very few of these boring, squadouchy kind of days. But my style of trading, hit and run, it's very conducive to every market. I'm always complaining when the market's ripping because I tend to sell into the moves. But it's days like today where if you didn't sell into the moves, you lost. And that's worse than missed opportunities like CRCL. I mean, the one time it had a move, that was me or us. Faux Show Bro. Got paid. Got stopped out of the rest. Done. Right? So if you haven't heard, yeah, I had the stinkiest day ever yesterday because I just chose poorly to add to positions because I was fed up with stocks going up after I would sell them. And yesterday was the worst day to choose to add to long positions. And I'll never do that again. I'd rather complain of a stock that I sold at 27 goes to 30 without me than watching go to 24 and still be in it. And on these boring, choppy days, again, it's fun to be in a community where we can hang out and talk about other things. We're talking about some baseball cards, talk about silver, talk about music, talk about anything other than putting your money at risk when you don't have an advantage. It's okay. This has been the sickest year ever. You're due for some chop. And this is what the market does when it tries to go down. It refuses to go down. So you get this chop. And then if I'm right, the chop will resolve itself to the downside this time. But I'm probably going to be wrong. Because if you haven't heard, the market never goes down. So that's my dilemma right now. I really, really think we're going to give back another chunk off the cues. Because that Oracle really, my premise is solid. This Oracle trade was freaking phenomenal. I mean, a 38% move on an earnings gap on a stock like this was ridiculous. And you see what happened. So let me get it. Let me get this whole give me that froth off the top. And I have no doubt we're going to rally after the next sell-off, and it's going to be monumental. What kind of voice you want me to do? I could do many voices. I'm not even supposed to be in this industry. I was supposed to be an entertainer, a singer, a dancer, an actor. I'm trapped here for 25 years. I don't know how this happened. What kind of voice you want me to do? I could do any accent you want. I could sing and dance too, if you want me to. You like show tunes? Well, back to the theme of the market right now, right? Market is kind of like the Terminator, right? When young John Connor asked the Terminator, "Well, why don't you just shut yourself off or self-terminate?" Cannot self-terminate. So it goes into like hibernation mode, right? It kind of goes into sleep mode, which is kind of does the just like that. The market. Nobody knows more about the market than I do. All right. A lot of times, a lot of people don't realize the market doesn't go down. It tries, but I support it. And that's why it doesn't go down. I control it all. By the way, I'm a little perturbed about me getting out of the last of that Q short now. But listen, UVXY is telling us that something's different in the air. UVXY usually plummets by now when the market gets stable. So if I have to get short again, I will. But this, like I said, this Oracle trade really does. This is my entire premise. I was right about this in 2021. I think I'm going to be right about it again. 2021, the year of Cathie Wood, ascension, and I looked at what she owned, and I was like, this is not going to end well. Everything she owned was COVID related, and everything she said was disruptive. Were a bunch of nonsense. Teledoc, Roku, Zoom, awful. I just think we're in this moment right here where this Oracle kind of is an indication of what's to come on the overall market. So look, this is a pretty big haircut the stock took. And that's why I'm trying, to stay short. It's a very difficult trade. But look how many times now you got to see. It's the same reason I shorted it again earlier, rejected at prior day VWAP, and now the rollover, now it's doing it without me, God damn it. Oh, well, now I have to sit through and have to wait to see if we get a little bounce to short again. But now we're probably going to get to that 617.50. But if you don't know, the market keeps inventing stuff for us to use to trade. And if you're not familiar with the quantum inverse RGTZ, a lot of these stocks have inverse ETFs, meaning you buy them to bet that we're going down, such as the SQQ. If you didn't know about that, short the Qs. So instead of having to lay out $618, you could buy yourself a couple of thousand shares of this thing. Obviously, it's not going to move, but the percentages are the same. It mirrors the percentage of what we're doing. And now I'm pretty pissed off that we just broke the lows of the day without me. Shit. At least I didn't cover at the high. But you see how important this VWAP is right there? Right? Rejected. The original short was just a VWAP break. Fade became a reversal. Another chance at it. Another chance at it. Now possible range break. I'm not shorting this time. I'm waiting to see if they try to squeeze it again and we roll. It could get a little jiggy at the end of the day. Negativity near the end of the day tends to get a little bit more aggressive. So I don't got a problem sitting out, I still got some QTUM short, like I was talking about, QTUM. So this is quantums and chips, and I love it. I mean, I found this one right out of the, I never heard of this. They had just created it. I looked inside, and I was like, you know what? I want to be involved. We got a nice run with this bad boy. This is QTUM. It's an ETF, and it owns a lot of what you want to be in. But at the same time, I shorted it this morning because the quantum names are all selling off. It would have been a better choice just to short the quantum names, but because this one has, a lot of other good stocks in there like AMD and Palantir and IBM. But if it does get down, this thing goes under 90 or, last time I had it long was, basically $85. But if it gets down there again, I'll buy it again. Speaking of Big Al, yeah, he was thinking about selling some stocks for the first time in his life. What do you know about that? So, should be cautious. $10cc, the Wall Street Shuffle. They have a song called Wall Street Shuffle. $10cc, Things You Do for Love. Really? There's a Wall Street Shuffle. It was a Schoolhouse Rock song. You remember Schoolhouse Rock? Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up phrases and songs of blah, blah. 10cc. They have a reggae song, which is pretty cool. 10cc. Nobody knows this band. I'm not in love. It's because. You know that song, yeah. See, look at that. Waited out those cues. See, the one thing you don't want to do in a chop session is short lows. You miss it, so be it. You can't be shorting lows. See what I'm saying? Now, if it bounces back here, yeah, you get another shot at it. Or what I want to see is total freaking screwing. I want to see it break prior day, and you got a 1 minute and a multi-day VWAP collision. You don't see this too often. You break back above that, and then you roll through it later, then I'm going short again. But right now, I'm not going to get re-involved until I get my price. And if I don't get my price, then I don't put it on. It's all right. We always got tomorrow. We got tonight. 10cc Wall Street Shuffle? Get the fuck out of here. How do I not know this song? Oh, I know this song. Of course I know this song. That's so funny. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I never knew it was 10cc. You need the luck to make a buck. Gotta be cool on Wall Street when your index is low. What? Oh no, I don't know this song. Wow. I thought this was something else actually. Oh my God, these lyrics are great. Oh, Howard Hughes. Wow. It sounds like some other song. Down, 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 down. Jay Giles or something? It sounds just like some other song. Down, 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 down. Bow, bow, bow. That's another song. That's so funny. I actually never heard that song before. Down, 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 down. I know it's a kind of a cheesy song, but 10cc, man. Thing to do for love. They have Dreadlock Holiday. That's a fun song. Do you love reggae? Do you like reggae? I love it.
I was walking down the street, concentrating on trucking right. I heard a dark voice beside of me, and I looked round in a state of fright. For some respect, don't you walk through my words, cause you ain't got. It was a threat, bitch. Don't you walk through my words, cause you ain't got. I hurried back to the swimming pool, sinking pina colada. I heard a dark voice beside me say, would you like something holler?
Anyway, what else you digging? Yeah, it's a good day to talk about music now. Speaking of music, Charlie Tuna next week. You guys know who Charlie Tuna is? Toots and the Maytals. Great choice. You see, avoiding that new short on the cues, see? That's professional trading. Now, if I get my choice, if I get my price, I'll try it again. What's everybody's desert island disc? Go ahead, Phil Perlman's here. What's up? Phil's house. Phil's party. You know, when's the next Phil's party? I missed the big blowout 10 years ago. Phil's party. What's everybody's desert island disc? Remember that? What song or CD, if you had to choose one song that you could have to live and die with? Band on the Run? You know, it's funny, Alexa. I know we have the same taste, but one of my desert island discs is Graceland. I mean, actually, my go-to song is always White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. I could listen to that song 20. I could listen to that song 100 billion times. But Graceland, the song Graceland too, it's got so much intricacy in the behind. I mean, I love Paul Simon. I love Simon and Garfunkel. Cecilia is one of my favorite songs of all time. But Graceland, doo-doo-doo, there's that bass line that's going on behind there. So good. I've seen Paul Simon in concert a couple of times. That was super duper. Band on the Run by Wings. Wow. Now, if you can name my second favorite song, It's also the song I walked into. Speaking of my wife, married 25 years, never had a fight. See, only two of you guys like music? Okay. Shit, just trying to have a conversation about something else, man. Late in the evening. Yes. Ventura Highway. Good choice. And 25 years ago, Mr. and Mrs. the newly crowned. Please welcome Mr. and Mrs. Glick for the first time as we run into the cafe. I forgot where our wedding was. All right, the Water's Edge. Not that song. Would everybody get up and welcome the new Mr. and Mrs. Glick? It's time to party.
Too deep in, you can't get out.
You didn't see that one coming, right? That was my walk-in music. Speaking of being married for 25 years, we're going to Iceland. Anybody been to Iceland? I'm still looking for like things to do. I got basically 5 days planned. I got 2 days open right now. I'm going to some like Arctic bath house. I don't know. Looks like it's going to be one of those. Oh my God, we're fucking cold. All right, get in the sauna. Jump out of the sauna, go into a salt bath, and then I don't know. Looks a lot of hot and cold stuff. And then we eat like Vikings. Did the Vikings eat well? I hope they did. LPTX. What's that? Just went across my scanner with 3 billion shares. LPTX. What in the hell? Whoa. Penny stock. Oh my God. Speaking of penny stocks, open new highs. You guys still trading the open, I hope, right? Man, that earnings reversal was the best of the year. Speaking of open, somebody just bought 85,000 shares. Wow, nice ticket. Scanners. Freaking scanners. I've got every scanner. Yeah, open's been awesome. Open ref is basically the 2025, the year of the dirtiest gross stocks, right? I don't remember when I started talking about that, but it's amazing that the Trump stock, it must be in another realm of awfulness because, man, every stock this year has caught a bid and has rallied 20, 50, 100, 200. Some of these stocks are up thousands of percent. And most of them are just awful stocks that have no business doing what they're doing. Yet this one can't even get out of its own way. That's a special kind of suck. I mean, that really is. It's a special kind of suck for you not to rally in this market. And that would be normally the type of stock that would rally, especially because, you know, Trump mentions that his kid's on the board of directors at some company no one's ever heard of. Next thing you know, the stock goes up 300%. He can't even get his own stock. I think it would be hilarious when this thing gets delisted. He'll be the only person in the history of the world to ever have 2 delisted stocks. You know how hard it is to get delisted? You gotta be so gross and so awful. But I don't know if you guys remember, DJT used to be another stock. It was the Trump casino stock. The only person that's ever lost money in casinos, too. Because he's a genius, this guy. Genius. Yeah, we have. We're fancy. We got a private little van that's taking us places. I thought if anybody's been there, if you know any like places off the beaten path, there's not much going. You know, Iceland. It's like the size of, I don't know. It's like the size of Brooklyn. It's not the biggest place in the world. So, but I can't wait because man, I'm done with going to islands. Every single island's exactly the same, right? How many islands can you go to? The Blue Lagoon. Yes, we're there. We're going. Yes. Even though the Blue Grotto in Italy was one of the worst moments of our lives. Don't go to the Blue Grotto. It's a tourist trap. It's so terrible. I forgot what city in Italy that was in, but we had to take a ferry, this jam-packed ferry with this diesel smell. 7 o'clock in the morning was making me sick. From the ferry, we had to go to another boat, and that boat took you to the rowboat, and then you go under this cave, and that's the Blue Grotto. Oh my God, it was the worst, and I was all hungover. It's legend how angry I was. My kids still talk about it. The Blue Grotto, and I forgot what part of Italy it was, but wow, we wasted 6 or 7 hours of our life. That was terrible. But you know what won't be terrible? Hey, Phil, if you got your ears on, why don't you? I need a guest for tomorrow. Why don't you be the guest? Let's talk about stock market psychology after a day like I had yesterday. Let's talk about how to overcome moments where you feel like you're hopeless and you feel like you're never going to get out of your own way, like yesterday. You know, some people go through a day like I did yesterday and they can't even come back from it because it just blows them up. Yesterday was just a lot of bad choices on my part. If you don't know, Phil Perlman's amongst us, and he is a market psychologist. Is Iceland bigger than Ireland? Oh, really? I thought they'd be more or less equal. Yeah. Right, Capri. Yes, and then we went on the Fulicula. Yeah, that was someday. I was just not in a good way. We had been in Sorrento the night before, and we just stayed out all night. And then we had to go to the freaking Blue Grotto the next morning. Oh boy, terrible. But yeah, so the schmooze tomorrow should be fun. We're gonna experiment with a different room, and then next week we're gonna have Straza come on and Mary, and we're all gonna see how VWAP gels with what they normally look at. And you see this little scanner, right? LPTX. This is all I have. It's called a dark pool big block scanner. So this just went ripping by. No joke. You know, 50,000 share, 100,000 share blocks, 40,000, 50,000, 10,000, 55,000. So when you see huge volume like that coming in, it's interesting. And then you pull up the symbol and you see what's up. And next thing you know, you got a fresh idea. Even though I'm not normally a fan of buying penny stocks. But hey, it is what it is. I traded 4,000 shares of UVXY to make 11 cents, and that was a $10 stock. You buy this here, this is a $1 stock, and it went up there to 20 cents. Not bad. You know, I just thought of that. I didn't even think about going fishing in Iceland. That'd be fun. Hey, look, they're going to halt this penny stock. Holy shit. Look, they're going to halt it at 143, my lucky number, or 43. And right there, what you just witnessed, that's how you find ideas. Comes across the scanner on huge volume. You put it up on the chart. And next thing you know, you got yourself an idea. Speaking of Italy, I'll go back to Italy anytime. Anybody want to rent out a villa? Anybody want to buy a villa? Do you know about that? There are certain towns in Sicily where there's nobody, and the towns are just like they're just they're gonna. I guess if a town could go out of business, there are certain towns in Sicily that they're just nobody's there, and they've got all these villas that have been left. You could buy these villas for basically nothing because the idea is they want you to employ the town people to help you fix the villa. It helps if you know somebody. But yeah, we're going to go investigate that because I got, well, most of my other side of my family are Italianos. Like, I got some Italians that are still fresh off the boat. That's why if you've ever been to Sorrento, Sorrento is phenomenal. I never ate so much fish in my life. And you never stop eating. Like dinner starts at 9. You're eating till midnight. Drinking. It's just crazy. I love it. All right. Well, I don't know. Not much going on. So not supposed to be doing too much. Hey, too bad I didn't jump on this penny stock. That would have been a nice little addition to the day. But I want to introduce you to a word that you might not be familiar with. Hold on a second. And the word is squadouche. Squadouche. It's a technical term. In layman's terms, it means nothing. There's nothing going on. Squadouche. When there's squadouche going on, you're not really supposed to be trading. Because squadouche will get you in trouble. You put trades on because you're waiting for something to happen. Something never happens, and then you just wind up losing money. And then you realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't have done any of this stuff. Right. The easy answer is don't trade. And I've been doing this so long. We used to have people in the room. I remember they give me the pick guys. They'd show up in the middle of the day. All right, give me an idea. You're so great at trading. I just saw you on the internet. You never fail, right? All right, give me an idea right now. It doesn't work like that, sir. Oh, well, you make it seem like you could find ideas. Well, it really is about the setup and timing of the market. And people who don't know how to trade think it's, you could just put any trade on, make it work. There are days where you're going to lose. You're going chop, and there's no follow through on either side. You're going to just wind up losing, and then you get back into the same stock, thinking it's about to make the move, and all it does is chop. And then it goes nowhere, and you just lose. And it's like the stock didn't even go anywhere. You just keep getting chopped up. Death by 1,000 cuts. Those 1,000 cuts inevitably kill you. We'll talk about baseball cards. Boop. But yeah, I am going to shut it down now. And I'm probably done for the day. And if anybody did buy this penny stock, congratulations. It's a nice 30% move while we were sitting here. Actually, I'm curious to see how it comes out. And listen, that last trade was a non-trade, right? So not trading, and then the trade wouldn't have worked. That's a win. So you got to count not shorting the Qs again as a win if you want to look at it like that. I know you didn't get paid, but you didn't lose anything, right? So now we got the luxury of waiting it out. Maybe we get a chance to short it at our price. Yes. So VK, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, we know. Well, I have one of my cousins. One cousin was from Sorrento. The other cousin is from Sicily. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going with family, with my own personal translator. Yeah, because nothing is ever as awesome as it sounds in the brochure. They make it sound, yeah, buy a house for $1. You'll have a wonderful mansion on a mountain just for $1. Yeah, I'm sure. Let's see how much you know about Italy. What was the town that was famous for their meat? Go. They were famous for their porterhouse steaks, actually. Oh, Greece. Yeah. Man, I never had. I never ate so well. I thought Greece was actually better than Italy. I never ate as well as I did in Greece. Crete. I'll go back to Crete before I go back to anywhere. Crete was awesome. Is that what it is? You got to guarantee a remodel. Yeah, yeah. That's what I read about it. It's a 30 grand remodel, which isn't bad. I mean, these are fantastic villas on the mountainside. Looks pretty awesome. Greece, I'd go back to, and now I know where to avoid. I don't need to go to. I don't need to go to. What was the one that was just out of control? Everything was so expensive. Couldn't even the white cliffs. Not I got Sorrento on my brain now. Not Sorrento. Oh, the Blue Grotto was in Capri. Yeah, that was terrible. Now, what was the not Positano? Oh, we went from Athens to. We didn't go to Mykonos because I heard it's just for clubbing. And my wife doesn't like the loud music any longer. Or never did really. What's the one in between? I don't know. I was there. I forgot what year it was. 2 years ago when it was on fire. They had to shut down some of the ruins because your sneakers would actually get melted to the ground. That's how hot it was. It was just nuts. The whole freaking country was on fire. Come on, what's that? What's the white mountains? It's like everything's in white right on the cliffs. The hotels are just ridiculously priced. I mean, we I couldn't believe my wife she was better off not telling me what this trip cost. I wouldn't have gone. Santorini. Santorini? Yeah, that's what it was. I stayed on a mountainside in this white, wonderful little boutique hotel. I never ate so well. I mean, everything was awesome, except you were paying for it. Wow. So the scanner, man. Anybody buy LPTX? You psychos. Damn, I wish I would have bought some at 111. Sell, Mortimer, sell. I've been trading so long. I remember the first time I saw a stock trade 500 million shares in a day. It was the sickest thing I had ever seen in my life. And then it wound up trading 6 billion shares for the day. I'm so old. Does anybody remember IDID? I did. IDID? It doesn't exist anymore. IDID was a company that did fingerprint scanning. And a rumor was out there that IBM was buying the company. And it was like this 9-cent stock. And it was on fuego. I never seen that kind of volume on a stock before in my life. And now it's common. Billions and billions, 500 million shares. I'm so old. I remember New York community, New York. Remember NY? Anybody from Brooklyn? Everybody, NYRR, New York Regional Rail. The pump and dump that every gangster on the planet was part of. I trade on many platforms. This is in the middle you're looking at. This is Thinkorswim. I trade on here very, very rarely. The outside platform is where I do my scalping during the day, so I can get in and out pretty quickly. This is called Lightspeed. A comparable platform is Trade Zero. I could get you a deal with Trade Zero. Got to email me. I'll get you some free software from them. They're friends of the family. Their software is pretty good. They have a great shorting platform built into the main platform. I tend to trade. I use E-Trade because E-Trade bought out a company called Options House. Options House, I had 15 cents per contract because I was a founding father of the website back when they first launched. And when E-Trade took them over, I got grandfathered in to the 15 cent no minimum, which isn't that special anymore. But, 7 or 8, 10 years ago, you were paying $1 a contract. I was paying 15 cents. Now you can, commissions aren't really that big of a deal anymore. But I stuck with E-Trade because they bought Options House, and I use, obviously Schwab because I have to, because they bought everybody else. But if you live in Greece and you're trading U.S. equities, I don't know how any of that stuff works. I just know that my friends moved to Puerto Rico for half the year so they don't have to pay taxes. These guys were making so much money from my old firm. Both of them moved to Puerto Rico. They lived there half a year. As long as you could prove that you were there for at least a half a year, you don't got to pay taxes. Yeah, everybody gets my platform. Everybody gets it. Yeah. Well, if you only join for a month, I kind of hold you in limbo, and then you join the second month. But if you join for at least 3 months, I give you I'll give you the whole layout with a nice instructional video too. And ladies and gentlemen, if you join for at least 3 months, you get the class and the platform for the first time. More free stuff. Yeah, so if you join for 3 weeks, November 22nd, I'm doing a nice class. So if you're free on a Saturday, it should be good. I'm going to be going over where you buy, where your stops go, how to draw the red lines, and the 4 or 5 varieties of how to use VWAP and prior day VWAP. And I could actually show it to you. Let me show you a couple actually before I leave, because there was a couple of varieties today, like Jumama. Classic. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw some stuff on chart. This is what I'm going to be doing for the class, just to make it more visual. So there's your fake out. There's the shakeout. Right. So then the better you get at this game, you'll be buying back above the fake out area. So you fake them out, shake them out, back above the fake out, you're a buyer here, or faux show, bro, VWAP break, blue line, orange line. This trade was perfect and really not much going on after it. Actually, it was a little decent short. But then there's those times where the prior day VWAP acts as the support on the faux show, bro, which is really awesome. Let me see if I can find one. No, kind of like in a way, not exactly, but here in this case, it was a target to the downside. So if you got a VWAP break with prior day VWAP underneath, that's usually your target. And then also it could be a faux show bro area. See how it kind of got rejected at it. And then that little faux show. You didn't get any bros today because the market's kind of heavy. But, on the 22nd, I'm going to go over about, with time permitting, I'll go over like 20 or 30 trades from the last couple of weeks just to show you how to identify the risk, reward, where to place your stops, and all that stuff. Chicago. I make car parts for the American man because that's who I am. A moron number one. Get moron number two on the phone. You should know that movie. You should know that actor too. Why'd you have to leave the Chicago Police Department? It's a combination of two movies. I just blended them together. Yes, one was Dan Aykroyd from Tommy Boy, but the other was Midnight Run. Yeah, is this moron number one? Yeah, put moron number two on the phone. Sydney, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm going to bury this phone right in your freaking skull. Midnight Run. Now, there's a classic movie. Robert De Niro and that other fella. I can't remember his name. And on that note, I'm out of here. Y'all have a great rest of the afternoon. Make sure you're around tomorrow. We'll be schmoozing. Maybe Phil Perlman will be our guest. If not, JC or Straza, possibly option Sean, or maybe the elusive Zach Hurwitz. I should reach out to him. Or my illegitimate brown son might show up. He's always a hoot to talk to. The heck you mean? All right, be careful out there. Don't chop yourself up. All right? It's been an okay day. I'll see you on the flip side, y'all. So before I go, if you need any more information, you can email me directly, Kenny Glick at AOL.com. That's right, AOL.com. I still use dial-up. And I'll forward your information to the powers that be. Or here, get this. I could give you a link right now if you don't have it. Hang on a second. Let me find it for you before I go. And I can't find it. Hold on. Yeah, use that link, and that'll get you in tomorrow and all of next week. And then we'll be rocking out. All right. All right. Sarai. I'm out of here. Have a great rest of your day. And